In this part, we are going to discuss about the last part of the female reproductive system, that is vagina. In the previous class, we had discussed about the structure and the organs that are involved in female reproductive system. Now we are in the end part of the female reproductive system, that's nothing but vagina, which is also commonly called as birth canal. And the vagina is also called as female external genitalia. Female external genitalia. Vagina is also called as female external genitalia. And the vagina can also consist of different parts such as labia majora, mons pubis, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. Let us list one by one. The first is mons pubis. Mons pubis. The second one is labia majora. The third one is labia minora. Fourth one is hymen, and the last fifth one is clitoris. We are dividing, or the vagina is differentiated into different regions and parts, such as the first part is mons pubis, the second one is labia majora, and the third one is labia minora, the fourth one is hymen, and fifth one is clitoris. Let me discuss one by one. The first one, mons pubis. Mons pubis is the upper region or the upper surface of the vagina, and the mons pubis consists of tissue, that is a fat or a fatty tissue. Mons pubis is having fat as well as it is covered with skin and pubic hairs. It is covered with skin and pubic hairs. Mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue and that is covered by skin and pubic hairs. And the next second part is labia majora. Labia majora is a fatty fold of tissue which begins from the mons pubis and it covers or ends at the part of vaginal opening. So labia majora is a fleshy fold of tissue. It is a fleshy fold of tissue which consists of fat, or which is made up of fat, and it starts from or it begins from the mons pubis and it ends at the vaginal opening. It ends at vaginal opening. Labia majora is a fatty tissue or a fleshy fold which starts from the mons pubis and it ends at the opening of the vagina. And also this labia majora are paired in nature. They are paired, and the function of the labia majora is to cover the inner regions as well as gives protection for the vagina and vaginal opening. The next part, which is followed by the labia majora, is labia minora. As the name says, labia minora is a small structure which is present beneath the labia majora. Labia minora is a small tissue. It is a small paired tissue. Small paired tissue which is also made up of fat, and also this labia minora is present beneath the labia majora, which is present beneath or below the labia majora. And the labia minora will cover the opening of the vagina, or it is protecting the opening of the vagina. It covers the opening of vagina. As well as the labia minora starts from the clitoris and it ends at the opening of the vagina, and this also plays a function of protecting the vagina. And also it is followed by the next, that is hymen. Hymen is a thin layer. It is a thin layer. Hymen is a thin layer which covers the opening of the vagina. Hymen is a thin layer which covers the opening of the vagina, and also this hymen is torn or it's broken during the time of first coitus, or very often the hymen may also be torn due to the active participation in sports, or due to sudden fall, or horse riding, active participation in cycling, etc. Like these activities, the hymen may also be torn. First of all, hymen is a thin layer which covers the vagina, or covers the vaginal opening. And hymen is not a criteria for the sexuality or for the virginality, or also this is not representing whether the person has experienced the sexual experience. Instead, because it may also be torn or broken due to various activities like sports and horse riding, cycling, etc. And next part of the vagina, that is nothing but clitoris. Clitoris is a small finger-like folding which is present just above the labia minora and above the urethral opening. What is clitoris? Clitoris is a small finger-like projections, finger-like projection present just above the labia minora, and also above the urethral opening. It is present just above the labia minora and urethral opening. It's nothing but a small finger-like projection present above the urethral opening. So this completes the last part of the female reproductive system, that is vagina. Let us recall what we had discussed. Vagina is the last part of the female reproductive system and which is also called or considered as female external genitalia. The vagina also called as birth canal because the vagina acts also birth canal acts as a birth canal due to the parturition or during the time of parturition, and hence can also be called as birth canal. Vagina consists of different parts or regions such as Mons pubis, Labia majora, Labia minora, Hyman and clitoris. Mons pubis is a fatty tissue which is covered by skin and the pubic hairs. And also the pubic hairs develops during the time of puberty or during the adolescent stage. And Mons pubis is continued by the next part, that is labia majora. Labia majora are paired in structures. They are the fatty tissues or which is made up of fat. They are the fleshy folds. They are fleshy folds of tissues which is made up of fat, and they starts from Mons pubis and ends at the opening of the vagina. The function of labia majora is to cover the external genitalia as well as the inner parts of the external genitalia and gives protection to the vaginal and vaginal opening. Labia majora is continued, or the next region is labia minora. Labia minora is a small paired tissues which is present just beneath or under the labia majora, as well as labia minora is also made up of fat which is present beneath the labia majora. As the name says, minora, that means it is a very small tissue or a very small structure which is paired and it is covering the opening of the vagina present beneath the labia majora. And also this labia minora is also in paired nature, and as compared to the labia majora, labia minora is very small, and that is continued by the next part of the vagina, that is nothing but hymen. Hymen is a very thin layer which covers the vaginal opening, and the hymen is stoned during the time of first coitus. Very often the hymen is also torn due to the horse riding or active participation in sports, as well as due to a continuous cycling. These activities may also torn the, or it may also break the hymen layer. However, it's not a criteria to decide the virginality or sexual experience. And the last part, that is clitoris. Clitoris is a small finger-like folding or a structure which is present above the vagina or above the labia minora and urethral opening. There the clitoris is present. So this completes the female reproductive system.